There's no love lost between Louisville and Memphis. Rivals collide as the calendar turns to March.
Pass to Leighton. Chalmers for the tie. Wow! Oh my goodness! Jordan, Michael Jordan. Big finish. Dreams to come true. Oh, it almost went in. As good as it gets.
It's our favorite month of the year. From the FedEx Forum in Memphis, Tennessee, Red Hot Louisville, ranked 7th in the country, tries to avoid the season sweep at the hands of number 21 Memphis. Hi, everyone. Welcome to March. With Mike Chiminski, I'm Andrew Catalan. Memphis in desperate need of a bounce-back win today after Josh Pastner said they laid an egg in Thursday night's loss at Houston. Now, Memphis already beat Louisville at their place back in January, but this is a different Cardinals team, and Mike, it's a different Montrezl Harrell.
Well, since Shane Bohannon was dismissed from the team, he's really had to step up, and he has answered the call. He has been terrific, very athletic inside, can finish at the rim, cleans up a lot of mistakes defensively, and he can step out and knock down a jump shot as well. The guy he's going to be playing against for Memphis, Shaq Goodwin, shoots a high percentage, rebounds the ball well, should be a great matchup.
I know you love the big guys, but it's hard to ignore these battle-tested backcourts as we take a look at our AT&T Fast Analysis.
Really the strength of both teams. Russ Smith, an All-American candidate, great defender, can score from the outside as well. His heir apparent, Terry Rozier, can hit the three. Now for Memphis, frankly, their backcourt has not been playing well lately. Both Joe Jackson and Jaren Johnson have to have big games today.
A rivalry renewed in Memphis. The Tigers and Cardinals battle it out on Beale Street next on CBS. CBS Sports college basketball coverage is sponsored by Edmunds.com. Driven to make car buying easy with Edmunds Price Promise. Infinity, luxury cars that deliver inspired performance. And by Bud Light, it's the sure sign of a good time. Here we go. Rick Pitino in his 13th year at Louisville. He decided in early February, guys, we're not going to shave until we lose. Well, they went perfect in February. So Pitino said he looks like an aging Al Pacino. His words, not mine. Louisville's starting lineup, Russ Smith, candidate for Player of the Year, averaging 17 points per game. And Montrezl Harrell on an absolute tear of late. 6 double-doubles over his last 13 games. For Memphis, a veteran backcourt, all seniors, Jackson, Crawford, and Johnson. And Austin Nichols, the reigning American Conference Rookie of the Week, averaging 8 points and 4 rebounds per game. Josh Pastner, the Memphis head coach. How about this? Following a loss, Memphis is 36-4. Under Pastner, has not lost back-to-back games since December of 2011. Of course, as we mentioned, Memphis lost at Houston on Thursday night. Trying to bounce back on their home floor today. And this place is rocking. Memphis was just introduced to Eye of the Tiger. They're ready to roll, Mike Chiminski.
All right, Andrew, Rick Pitino hopes that beard gets nice and full over the next month or so. It's kind of like the run they made at the end of last season to the national championship.
Memphis won on January 9th at the Yum Center, and we're underway in the second meeting between these two, and Louisville stepped out of bounds. It's Memphis basketball.
Luke Hancock trying to dribble up, ran out of real estate on the sidelines. I think this Memphis team needs to get off to a quick start. They did last year in this game, but maybe too quick to start. Built up a 16-point lead early, but Louisville kept their composure, came back and actually won that game.
Goodwin draws the double, gets it out to Jackson. Fakes the shot. Now nice bounce pass to Nichols, tied up down low, and a foul is called on Chris Jones. Today's officials, John Higgins, Rick Crawford, and Brian O'Connell.
Well, the thing they like about Austin Nichols, he's got great hands, catches everything. They're going to give him 2 shots on this, and not a great free throw shooter at 53%, but has really become more aggressive offensively in the last 10 games.
Nichols makes the first. Had a big game last week against Temple. 17 points, 12 boards, and 7 blocks. It was the first double-double of his career, and for that, he was named American Conference Rookie of the Week for the 2nd time this season. And Memphis out to a 2-0 lead.
Certainly didn't look like a 53% shooter there from the free throw line. Looks like he locks his knees out a little bit like Tim Duncan's delivery. Has a flat shot, but gets those 2 to go down.
Very similar. Jones off the screen, lost a turnover, and Memphis loves to run. Johnson throws it down.
Rick Pitino talked about it. Number 1 key, transition defense, and those live ball turnovers kill you out front.
2 straight turnovers for a Louisville team that only averages 10 turnovers per game. Hancock to Harrell. Turnaround jumper is off the mark, and the rebound down to Joe Jackson.
Louisville's only going to send 1, maybe 2 people to the offensive glass. They're going to try to get 3 back in transition on every play.
Goodwin, nice bounce pass to Nichols, and the finish.
Good high-low action against the zone, and an early timeout for Rick Pitino.
Let's take a look at our Applebee's neighborhood favorites. Louisville and Memphis met in the 2005 Conference USA Championship game. Francisco Garcia led the Cards with 19 points. Darius Washington paced the Tigers with 23. And it was Larry O'Bannon's 3 with 27 seconds left that gave Louisville a 1-point lead. With no time remaining, down 2, Darius Washington missed 2 of 3 free throws as Louisville won the Conference USA Championship. Memphis needed that game to make the NCAA tournament. But today, Memphis off to a fast start. An early timeout for Pitino.
Yeah, it's defense, and that was actually Shaq Goodwin getting a hand on the play. Good look ahead. Then Johnson can finish with authority. Here's another look inside. Good dig that time. Good look ahead. Good start for the Tigers.
3 trips for Memphis and 3 hoops for the Tigers. Hancock on the baseline, and he stepped out of bounds. 3rd turnover of the game for Louisville, less than 2 minutes in.
That was good defense that time by Nichols, sliding over, cutting off the baseline. He had nowhere to go. Used that baseline as another defender.
Louisville's had 7 straight games with 10 turnovers or less, and they have 3 in the first 2 minutes. Jackson left open for 3. And Harrell with the rebound for Louisville.
Joe Jackson only 27% from 3, has not been shooting the ball well. Needed that one to go down to get some confidence.
Memphis as a team, not a very good 3-point shooting threat at 33% as Hancock misfires, but tapped out by Van Treese. And a foul is called on Crawford.
If there's one advantage or a couple advantages Louisville has, one, they're a much better defensive team than Memphis. Second of all, they shoot the 3 a lot better as well. So those 2 big factors in this game.
And Memphis only averages 5 3-pointers per game. Smith launches, and that's well off the mark, and the fans here at the FedEx Forum let him hear about it.
Well, good job by Jackson fighting over the top of the screen. We talked about defending the pick and roll being a big key against Louisville. And that was a little bit of a frustration shot by Russ Smith.
Louisville still scoreless. They average 82 points per game. That's 12th in the country. Jackson, nice inside, swatted by Harrell. What a difference maker Montrezl Harrell has turned in for Louisville in this second half of this season.
Well, we talked to Rick Pitino about why this team isn't as good defensively as the last one. He mentioned Gorgui Dieng, but Harrell doing a nice job of protecting the rim on that play.
No Shane Bohannon, Kevin Ware also out. Harrell has stepped up as that pass is knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with the Tigers.
He really fell into Rick Pitino's lap. I mean, he was scheduled to go to Virginia Tech. Seth Greenberg gets fired, and he changes his mind and shows up at the doorstep and, can I play a Louisville?
Yeah, that worked out all right for Rick Pitino. Harrell, 60% from the floor. That's 11th in the country.
He said it's the best late recruit he's ever gotten.
Coughlin trying to get it into Goodwin. He does. On the block, and he took too many steps.
Well, fortunately, he got called for traveling instead of the hook. He threw that left arm out. And against Louisville, the more dead ball turnovers you can have, the better. You get that chance to set up your defense.
Hancock inside, and he puts it in. The bagel is off the board for the Cardinals. Quickly the other way, though. Jackson out to Crawford, thought about the three, now pulls up. Can't hit. Goodwin fighting for it, but Smith corrals it for the Cards. Well, Smith end-to-end, finds Hancock for three. No good. Second miss of the day for Hancock. Offensive board, Harrell. Put back, no. Goodwin the board.
Couple of good opportunities. Hancock had a great look at three, and then Harrell, really nice offensive rebounding position, couldn't get it to go down.
Hancock's been shooting the three very well. 43% over his last 8 games, but 0 for 2 today. Goodwin inside. Doesn't get the roll. And Harrell another rebound. Jones in transition. Coast to coast. Smith. And here comes Memphis. Jackson to Johnson. And a foul is called on Memphis. Offensive foul on Jaron Johnson. Tigers out to a 6-2 lead. Louisville only averages 10 turnovers per game, but the Cards with 3 in the early going.
Andrew, they've been really active, Memphis has, and a couple of those unforced errors. Hancock stepping out, a great steal that leads to a basket right here. And then the nice slide by Nichols. Hancock, 2 of those 3 turnovers, Memphis scoring 4 points.
And Louisville shooting 1 for 7 so far from the floor. So a sloppy start for the Cards under Rick Pitino.
Well, Louisville they like to get out and run as well. I don't think the 35-second shot clock is in jeopardy at all of expiring in this game.
And another final from the American Conference. UConn over Cincinnati, 51-45.
A win by Louisville today, able to stretch out their lead at the top.
Cards have that incredible win over Cincinnati as Russ Smith counted in the foul, and the reason they beat Cincinnati last Saturday was Russ Smith's game-winning shot with 2 seconds left.
There's a look, and there's that guarding the pick and roll lane. And if there's one thing that Nichols, he has improved offensively, but he has had potential to get into foul trouble in games.
First foul for Austin Nichols. That'll send Smith to the line to try to finish off the three-point play. He's 50 free throws away, and now 49 from becoming Louisville's all-time leader in free throws made. Smith got a hand on that one. And they just get it across in 10. Michael Dixon Jr. is checked in for the Tigers. Crawford tried to lob it down low, but tipped out to Dixon. Nice no look.
Solid play. That was almost a turnover, but Memphis regained their composure. Nice play against the zone.
6 quick points for the freshman Nichols. Russ Smith cuts and finishes off the dish from Van Treese. Memphis up by 1, just over 5 minutes into this one. At the FedEx Forum in Memphis, Tennessee. Dixon Jr. coming off the season-high 19 points last time out against Houston, and he knocks that one down.
Well, that was great recognition on the interchange. They got the switch with Van Treese. He had a big on him. He had to give him some room. He knocks down the jump shot.
Dixon, the transfer from Missouri, averaging 11 points per game now this season for Memphis. It's been a nice addition for Josh Pastner. Smith fall away, no. Van Treese offensive board, and a foul is called down low. They're going to get Dixon Jr.
Well, you're going to see the interchange right here, and this is where Van Treese gets caught, and a little handoff back the other way. Now look, you just got to give him space. Really wary of him driving to the basket.
Van Treese sees that one spin out. Only the 18th time this season Van Treese has attempted a free throw.
Right at 50% now, so not reliable. Actually moved into the starting lineup in the last 6 games.
Blue-collar senior out of Indianapolis. This lineup that Rick Pitino has gone to of late, Smith, Jones, Hancock, Carroll, and Van Treese, 6-0 together. A perfect month of February for Louisville, a 7-0 record. Haven't lost since late January. Good one at the free throw line. Nice dish and the finish from Nick King.
They've been really solid against the zone, especially with Goodwin up at the high post. You got to have a guy there who can pass and score. And so far, Goodwin, a couple of assists.
This place is bonkers right now. Now we have a whistle away from the ball. You can barely hear it. Let's take a look at the updated standings in the American Conference. Cincinnati with its 3rd league loss of the year. So Louisville now with the leg up if they could pull out a win today in Memphis.
Well, Memphis with a win, if they should right the ship, would pull even with Connecticut. So a lot of people bunched up in that top 5.
And don't forget the conference tournament is on this floor. So Memphis will have the home court advantage. Transition for the Tigers. Jackson other end, and he's fouled.
Wow, I didn't think Goodwin was going to be able to get there in time, but he timed it perfectly. And this is actually the first pass to the fast break. A lot of guys will knock it out of bounds. But that one goes right to Crawford. He's able to get it up the floor.
Shaq Goodwin, the sophomore from Atlanta. As Jackson a little off there.
Atypical. He said 80% on the year. That one very short.
Jackson back at the line for one more, and he knocks it in, kind of shakes his head. What was I doing on the first one? 13-7 in favor of Memphis. Memphis has 5 made field goals in this game, 4 of the 5 in the paint. Blackshear and Rozier in there, along with Mango Mathiang, and that one's deflected away. Goodwin, long pass up ahead, a little too long, and it goes out of bounds.
Well, to your point, that Josh Pastner talking about yesterday about the fact that he didn't say lead the country in points in the paint. That's a real strength of theirs. We talked about their lack of three-point shooting. Not a great decision. Good defensive play right there by Goodwin, but not a great idea on the pass.
7 combined turnovers in this game, 8 made field goals by the 2 teams. It's a 6-point lead for Josh Pastner. Harrell draws the double, spins away, doesn't get it to drop. Goodwin another rebound. Reverse lay-in, no. Tipped up, no. Blackshear clears. Nifty pass, though, by Jaron Johnson.
Yeah, their interior passing has been very solid in this game.
Smith, nice dish to Harrell for the jam. His 70th dunk of the season. That is a Louisville single-season record. Now we have a whistle.
There's a look, and this is, his low box game is improving, but Harrell plays off of penetration more and shots like that off the gas.
A delay of game warning was called on Montrezl Harrell after the dunk.
I think on the follow-through, he knocked the ball out of bounds.
So no foul, just a warning for Louisville. And now some full-court pressure by the Cards with 12:05 to go in the first half.
Rick Pitino says he throws a lot at his young guys, especially defensively. 3 different presses, a half-court trap, a lot to absorb.
One of the guys that's really starting to get it is the guy covering the ball right now, Terry Rozier, the freshman. He's really progressed nicely for Rick Pitino. Crawford through. It's gone.
Yeah, well, he takes and makes more than any threes on this team, and you really have to lock in on him on the perimeter.
7-point lead for Memphis. Rozier draws contact, and that's going to go against Crawford. An 8-2 run for the Tigers. They lead it by 7. Memphis leads 16-9. Louisville head coach Rick Pitino has some opinions on how players can improve their lives overall with a little less time using social media as we look at planning for success. Presented by Northwestern Mutual.
They took another hour and went in the gym and worked on their game. They take another hour into their academics. They take another hour and just get in the weight room, work on their agility, instead of 4 hours with social media. I put rules in, and I make sure every single day for 15 minutes in our meeting before practice that they verbalize, they communicate.
So, Mike, don't look for Pitino to follow you on your Twitter handle at 43 or Gman43 Duke. You're not going to get him as a follower. I'm sorry, Mike.
But you know what, Andrew? And the thing is, I mean, he's right. Communication is so important, especially defensively. And, you know, in this day and age, you can get in your own little world. You get your beats on, you know, you start tweeting. You don't actually have any communication with people. It's orally the spoken word, and it's completely different out on the court. You've got a great point.
And he's got a great guy in Russ Smith who knocks down a 3 for Louisville right out of the media timeout. 16-12 is the score now. More pressure from the Cards. Memphis able to bring it across the timeline.
I always like to see what type of possessions team have after a timeout. Offensively, they come out, they execute.
Jackson, high arcing shot off the front of the rim, and Mathiang with the board.
And not a great shot that time, and credit Harrell, who pressured the shot and made him alter it, can come up short.
And a 3-second violation was called against Louisville.
And Harrell upset. He made the play defensively, and he lost track. And as a big man, you've got to keep that 3-second clock in your head and know when to get out of the lane.
Louisville has 5 field goals and 5 turnovers so far in this first half as Dixon Jr. brings the ball up the floor. Blackshear out on Crawford. They find Nichols on the wing. Back over to Crawford. He puts up another 3 and hits another. 3 more for number 3.
Last 3 games, Andrew, 2 of 15 from 3 coming in, and he is seeing a big basket right now.
4th on Memphis's career 3-point field goals made list. Chris Crawford, the senior from Memphis. At Sheffield High School. Smith trying to answer, and he does. Tough shot from Russ Smith.
That time Memphis going zone, and Smith just busting it up 3 feet beyond that. Long 3.
He has 11 of Louisville's 15 points as Rozier is called for a foul. For all your college basketball scores and news, download the CBS Sports app. Go to cbssports.com/mobile to get it now. Message and data rates may apply. 16 fouls for Memphis, 3 for Louisville. Inside 10 minutes to go in the first half. Goodwin can't finish.
The easiest shot he's had all day today so far. Just Louisville completely lost him and missed the layup. He had been playing the high post. They tried to work him into the low box, and it was a perfect play.
Harrell at the free throw line, nowhere to go. Fans wanting to travel, no call. Hancock now, baseline on Dixon. Finds Rozier in the corner with 10 on the shot clock. Goodwin going to the floor with Harrell, battling for it, and the possession arrow favors Memphis.
Well, I'll tell you what, Goodwin has been terrific on both ends of the floor, assists offensively and then getting after it defensively. That great trap out in the corner. And he just went down on the floor and got it first.
Turnover number 6 in the first half for Louisville. Their turnover margin coming into the game +7, which is second in the country.
Which you think also the pace at which they play.
Well, they get one back here. Smith will go to the line after the steal.
Right now it is Russ Smith versus Memphis. He is keeping Louisville single-handedly in this game.
And that's the third foul on Chris Crawford of Memphis,
who had gotten off to such a quick start shooting the three.
Russ Smith at the line. He scored 11 points in the last 6.5 minutes, make it a dozen. Rick Pitino said recently he hopes that Russ Smith plays for the Knicks. He said they need a guy that can get in the lane. Of course, the Knicks need a lot more than that.
They need a psychologist, first and foremost.
But Smith said he'd be happy to play anywhere in the NBA. And if not there, then overseas. And if not overseas, the media. He's a communication major and does an internship at a local television station in Louisville. Got a feeling, though, he'll be able to play some basketball before he joins the media.
Yeah, he's not quite ready to get behind the mic.
Johnson drives, strong take, counted and one.
Well, that's the thing about the guards for Louisville. They are a little undersized. And that time, Chris Jones just overpowered by Jaren Johnson.
Second foul on Chris Jones. He goes to the bench. Van Treese back into the game as Mathian checks out. And Johnson at the line to try to finish off a three-point play. Native of Staten, Ohio. A couple years at junior colleges, Chicola, and then Garden City Community College in Kansas. His second season with the Tigers. 8.5 to go in the first. Hancock has his step, drives in, and he's fouled. Fouls on Michael Dixon Jr. And that's his third foul. So some foul issues for Memphis as both Crawford and Dixon Jr. have 3 apiece.
Well, it's amazing with all the talent that Louisville has had, that this guy, the most outstanding player in the Final Four last year for them, stepping up. Adding a little dribble drive action to his game. He got knocked down to 3 as well.
22 points in the national championship game against Michigan last year. 5 of 5 from deep for Hancock as Damian Wilson checks into the game. Only averages 7 minutes a game, but some foul trouble for Pastner, and he's got to go to his bench.
Really an amazing run last year when they lost that 5-overtime game at Notre Dame, and then just Pitino challenged his team to finish on a 7-0 run. They did, went through the tournament and won every game from then on out.
16-game win streak last year to close out the season. Right now, they've won 7 in a row as we flip the calendar to March. Russ Smith said, does this feel like, well, he was asked, does this feel like last year? And he said, not yet. Different team, tough finish from Jackson. But they're getting better, Mike, and we're seeing how much they've grown over that month of February. Smith trying to counter that bucket, and he does.
It's 2 great dribble drives by the guards, and I think Pitino, especially defensively, this team not nearly as good.
Johnson tied up inside, and travel is called on Memphis. Russ Smith has 14 of Louisville's 20 points early on. And the Memphis lead is 4. A look at our game summary. Turnovers. This story early on as the teams have combined for 11 and some foul trouble for Memphis as both Crawford and Dixon Jr. have 3 apiece. Back courtside with Mike Jaminski, I'm Andrew Catalan. Memphis has really controlled the pace of play here early in the first half, but Russ Smith keeping Louisville right there. He's got 14 of their 20 points.
Yeah, much more balanced scoring for the Tigers, but it's been a one-man show so far offensively for Louisville. Russ Smith has been unbelievable in this game. 14 points for him. Variety of fashions, too. He's gone inside a lot. Fearless attacking the rim. He can knock down the three-point shots, and he's carried his team. He's got to find some help somewhere offensively. He needs that second and third scorer to step up.
He has scored or assisted on 6 of Louisville's 7 made field goals. Memphis with 18 fouls, Louisville with 4. As we get closer to 7.5 to go in the first half. Rozier for 3. In and out, and the long rebound down to Jackson. Goodwin left open. He'll take that. Can't make it. Blackshear the board. And now here comes Russ Smith. Smith. Wild shot tipped out to Hancock.
I think his shot selection has gotten better over the last couple of years, but that one a little bit forced.
15 to shoot for Louisville. Chance of defense from the fans here at FedEx Forum in Memphis.
Tigers switching it up, playing some zone.
Now 5 to shoot. Hancock drives, puts up a shot, no. And Memphis is able to clear. Damian Wilson still in there for the Tigers. Jackson thought about a 3. Back out to Johnson. He'll pop a 3. And in. Jared Johnson has 8 points. Timeout, Louisville.
He only comes in at 25%. A big-time 3.
This matches the largest lead for Memphis in the first half. Tigers have it 27-20 with 6:32 to go in the first. And Jaron Johnson looking good so far with 8 points.
Well, with Crawford down, I mean, they're going to take a chance with him on that 3. I mentioned the 25%, so you play the numbers game there, but he makes them pay. Crawford on the bench with those 3 fouls, somebody having to step up. And Jaron Johnson has been very aggressive, Andrew, in these last few minutes, whether attacking the rim or looking for his shot.
Averages 9 points per game, so just 1 off his season average here in the first half. Hancock lost it, but he's fouled. And they're going to get Johnson for that foul. And Hancock will shoot a 1-and-1. Second foul on Johnson.
Maybe the most reliable free throw shooter for Louisville at 86%. And he's been looking to do a little bit more off the dribble in this game.
Hancock 1 of 4 from the floor in this first half. And he does not hit the front end of the 1-and-1. So Memphis' lead remains 7.
And that's not something you expect from your best free throw shooter, an empty possession on a missed front end of the 1-on-1.
Tigers trying to bounce back from that stunning loss on Thursday night in Houston. Josh Pastner told us at practice yesterday. Harrell! Look out! What a feed and what a finish.
Memphis is big, slow getting back in transition. Harrell just outran everybody.
I don't mind that Harrell interrupted the story because that was quite a play to look at. But Pastner said that Houston loss on Thursday, really the first bad loss of the season for Memphis. They don't have a clean resume anymore, but so many opportunities still for Memphis to improve. Starting today here against the 7th-ranked team in the country. Smith bounces it to Hancock, and the finish. 4 quick points for Louisville. Timeout, Memphis. Well, let's take another look at this one. Russ Smith, length of the floor. Thank you, Montrezl Harrell. Russ Smith Smith with 14 points and 3 assists already for Louisville, and Montrezl Harrell helping the Cards make this a one-possession game.
They really didn't get a lot of easy looks early in this game. Smith created a lot of the offense, but in the last 5 minutes, they've been getting him stuff in transition off their defense.
Another turnover. Harrell again. Hello. It's a one-point game. Quickly the other way, though. Nichols gets it to drop.
Make or miss, both of these teams committed to pushing the ball up the floor.
I've heard the expression of a track meet, the two teams who like to run. This is like the Olympics here with these two. Up and down we go. Hancock, 3. Harrell keeps the possession alive with 4.5 to go in the first. Backing down the freshman King and trying to force a pass to Van Treese, and another turnover, the 7th of the half.
And you got to make your mistake up on the rim. Harrell should have taken that shot. Van Treese had really good offensive rebounding position.
Dixon Jr. with 3 fouls at the scorers table. Set the check in for Memphis along with Shaq Goodwin. To shoot for Memphis. Jackson corner to Wilson. Getting some run with the foul issues in this half, and he throws it away. Although it'll stay with the Tigers. Rick Pitino does not like that call. Timeout on the floor. Cardinals getting it going at the rim with Montrezl Harrell. They trail by 3. Coming up on AT&T at the half, Greg Gumbel, Doug Gottlieb, and Seth Davis will bring you scores and highlights from the day's early action, including second-ranked Wichita State looking to close out their regular season with a perfect record. That's coming up on AT&T at the half. Penny Hardaway feeling the beat here at FedEx Forum. 1993 consensus All-America for Memphis, and his jersey hangs from atop the rafters.
Little Penny in the building, too, out of the shot, sitting next to him, couldn't see him.
So 3:53 to go first half. The Memphis lead as large as 7, now down to 3. And foul issues for the Tigers. Crawford and Dixon with 3 apiece, and Johnson has 2.
Do you think Mr. Smith had anything to do with that?
I think so. Russ Smith with 14 points and 3 assists in this first half.
And Crawford's guarding him now, so he's got to be careful.
Another turnover by Louisville, number 8 in this half. They average 10 per game. Only 3 Louisville players have scored in this game. Smith with 14, Hancock and Harrell with 6, and a foul is called on Hancock. That's his first, the 5th team foul on the Cardinals.
Well, nice job of Joe Jackson. You got a bigger guy guarding, he's not as quick. You just go right at him and cause the foul.
Shaq Goodwin back in the game for Memphis. He's got the ball right now. 0 for 6 from the floor in this first half. Goodwin came in at 61%, which is tops in the American Conference. King's pass deflected. Goodwin able to corral it, and a foul is called on Louisville. And that's going to go on Luke Hancock. Team foul number 6.
And they did a nice job. They trapped in the corner, let it out. And then Hancock bailed him out. They still had 1 to give. The next foul will put Memphis in the penalty.
Blackshear comes in to replace Hancock, who goes to the bench with 2 fouls in 16 seconds.
And he came from behind and going for the reach, and that's going to be a call every time.
Goodwin trying to fight for position down low. And a foul is called again on Louisville. So quickly they go from 14 fouls to 17 fouls in this half.
I've said that he's been very aggressive looking for his offense. That time at least they forced him to go to his left hand, but he was able to draw the contact. A very powerfully built guard.
Just 62% from the line, but he knocks in the first. Well, one of the morning's most outspoken sports talk teams has been unleashed on a nation. Don't miss Boomer and Carton weekday mornings starting at 6 Eastern on CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Nick King goes to the bench. Damian Wilson, the native of Atlanta, getting some run in this first half for Memphis. Johnson misses the second free throw. It's a 4-point game as we approach 3 minutes to go in the first half.
Smith's been quiet over this last little stretch, too. He got off to that quick start.
Matched up with Johnson here. Russ Smith with the ball and a foul away from the ball. And it's going to go on Damian Wilson, the sophomore out of Atlanta.
I think Wilson gets he gets this time, Andrew, because of the foul trouble in the backcourt for Memphis, so having to play some minutes earlier in the first half.
They'll send Blackshear to the line. He's 74% in the season, and that one rattles in. Monday on CBS, who can you trust when the enemy is all around you? Don't miss a new episode of Intelligence, Monday at 10/9 Central, only CBS.
Whenever we talked about the change in the lineup, I think Rick Pitino likes the luxury of being able to bring Blackshear off the bench, give them some offensive pop.
Yeah, the other problem as Smith steals the inbounds is that Blackshear is getting in early foul trouble. Now coming off the bench, he's able to limit some of those fouls as that three won't go down for Rozier. Harrell, offensive putback.
Such an expansion. We touched it out at the top. With Shane Bohannon gone, he has had to expand his game.
And Nichols gives Memphis the lead again after Louisville was able to tie it at 30. Nichols 4 for 4 from the floor, and Smith can't answer. Memphis wants to push. Johnson nearly slipped. Able to settle things down as we approach 2 minutes to go in the first half. And now Jackson will reset, the senior from White Station High School here in Memphis. 2010 Gatorade Tennessee Player of the Year, McDonald's All-American. Now 5 to shoot. Johnson, Nichols, baseline jumper, long. Goodwin puts it back up. No, hit the rim though. King inside, he's fouled.
Well, your key phrase right there was hit the rim, and he did a great job to keep the shot clock and get it up and give his team a chance for an offensive rebound. Right there, just get it up there, and really nice positioning by Nick King.
First foul on Montrezl Harrell. We saw some shots of Harrell and Pitino after that foul. There is so much emotion in this building right now. Part of it's the rivalry, part of it's March. I mean, this is just, we're ready to go. Buckle up. March is here, and there's Rick Pitino's reaction. First second chance point for Memphis. It's King at the line, off the front of the rim. Nichols cannot finish though, and Van Treese clears.
Well, Louisville call sleep that time. You have to understand King, a 50% free throw shooter, so really concentrating on your blocking out.
Alley-oop, but this time Harrell could not throw it down. That pass a little bit high from Russ Smith.
I didn't think it's possible to throw it up where Harrell couldn't get it, but he did that time, just a little bit too much on it.
That's Mike Jaminski territory up there. Harrell needs to grow a little bit more to reach your level. I need to go about 12 phone books to reach your level. Jackson, free throw line jumper, no. Offensive rebound, King. How about the freshman inside?
Right, they got two bigs, and Nick King and Austin Nichols out on the floor, and King is really giving them a nice lift.
Fans on their feet. Nichols with the block. Memphis has numbers. Johnson on the break, and the hammer. Louisville will hold for the last shot of the half. Is called on Jackson. And that'll be 2 shots for Russ Smith, but 1 a run for Memphis.
Well, we talk about block shots being the first pass to the fast break. Nichols making the great play in the look ahead right here. Nice bounce pass, and this play gets the crowd ignited.
Johnson has 11 points in the first half for the Tigers, and Russ Smith can't stop this run, missing the first.
4.8 seconds, still plenty of time for Memphis to get a rush up the floor and a shot.
And they put their best three-point shooter back in the game, Chris Crawford, with 3 fouls. So Crawford back in for the Tigers. So 1 more at the line for Russ Smith. Knocks it in. Smith has 15 points. Can Memphis get off one last shot? No, they do not, and that will do it in the first half.
Can't understand why Joe Jackson didn't put something up to the rim.
Well, we've reached the half here at FedEx Forum. Memphis leads 37-31. Now let's go to Greg Gumbel in New York.
Andrew, thank you. Coming up on AT&T at the half, Seth Davis and Doug Gottlieb join me with scores and highlights and the latest in college hoops today. After this message and a word from your local station.
CBS Sports presents AT&T at the half. AT&T. Rethink possible.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to AT&T at the half. I'm Greg Gumbel. The score in Memphis, the Tigers leading Louisville by a score of 37-31. I'm joined by Seth Davis and Doug Gottlieb. First time these teams met, Memphis shot 51%. They're shooting 48% in the first half, and they're up 6.
And they're doing it in transition, which is what Memphis does so well. And, you know, Josh Pastner wanted his guys to play with more energy. It's a great example of how a loss can help a team. They were really bad at Houston. And, Doug, I think they're a much better team when they're getting this kind of production from Austin Nichols, the freshman. He's got 10 points in the first half, had 17 and 12 against Temple. When Memphis plays big, they can be very hard to beat.
But Austin Nichols should not have 10 points against Montrezl Harrell. And Harrell didn't box out on last possession, and then he doesn't box out in the free throw, and then Rozier doesn't get back in transition when Russ Smith gets his shot blocked. There's the little things that are missing from this Louisville team that they were able to complete last year, allowed them to win the Big East, and allowed them to win a national championship. They got to figure those things out if they want to make a march in March.
Right now it's 37-31 Memphis at the break. Meanwhile, Wichita State, as we get you caught up on the board, the last unbeaten team in action.
And this is what makes them special. Ron Baker, of course, we saw him light up the tournament last year. And then they stretch you out with Cleanthony early as a stretch 4. You have to guard this team. They're much better offensively than they were last season.
And they're going to complete their regular season today, most likely. They're up by 18. Remember, they were down by 18 at Missouri State, had to come back in overtime. Guess what, Doug? They're going to be a 1 seed. They're going to be a 1 seed.
With their best
Get used to it, buddy.
39-21 at halftime, and, you know, a little bit of history happening. A little good news for the Shockers. Their 30-0 start this season follows last year's Final Four appearance and some elite company.
And in 2004, St. Joe's completed the regular season undefeated, also became a 1 seed. So I think Wichita State's in very good shape.
All right, meanwhile.
You think they're in?
I think they're in the tournament, Doug.
Okay.
I'm sorry to disappoint you.
They're in.
First 4.
I'm putting them in.
First 4. Are you happy?
That at UConn.
We found some offensive highlights in this game.
They made baskets here. Yeah, now, very interesting thing happened here between Mick Cronin and Ted Valentine, the official. Valentine in absolutely no way should get in Cronin's face, but you know what he also did? He didn't give the coach a technical. I thought that was pretty reasonable officiating because Mick Cronin basically acted like that the whole game.
This is the last basket. 2-point field goal.
Can't be
that UConn
7 minutes in the game. How's that the last basket?
That's it. They all free throws.
So they must have lost, right?
No, because Cincinnati,
won.
like so many other teams, they can't scope.
51-45 as you take a look at the American standings. What does it tell you?
They all play each other here. That's the great thing about the AAC, okay? It's a double round robin, and they all play each other coming down the stretch. I think Louisville's the best tournament team because they can turn you over. They have experience, they can score. But the way they finished that first half and the way they lost to Memphis at home gives me the heebie-jeebies.
All right, let's update you on a couple of big wins for a couple of bubble teams. Dayton shot 56% in the second half, knocked off UMass 86-79, and the Volunteers of Tennessee took advantage of some non-scoring activities from Vanderbilt 76.
A good way to keep Conzo Martin.
A reminder, our doubleheader continues at 4 Eastern. Stay tuned. Top-ranked Florida puts the 20-game win streak on the line when they host LSU in an SEC showdown. We'll step aside for a moment, and we're storming the court, or are we not, when AT&T at the half continues. Welcome back to AT&T at the half, everyone. March Madness is upon us. It all begins just over 2 weeks from now with the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship Selection Show, which you will see exclusively here on CBS Sports. Now, yesterday, the Western Athletic Conference acted swiftly in suspending New Mexico State players K.C. Ross Miller for 2 games and Ronaldo Dixon for a game for violating the sportsmanship policy stemming from the incident at the end of Utah Valley's win over New Mexico State Thursday night. The Aggies, Ross Miller, intentionally throwing the ball at the Wolverines, Holton Hunsaker, and that instigated a little bit of a tiff, you might say, post-game brawl between players and fans who had rushed the court. The question is, what do we do about these fans storming the court?
Well, obviously, a kid shouldn't throw a ball in that situation, but the incident would have ended there. The New Mexico State coaches did a good job getting him off the court. I'm hoping that this is an inflection point in this conversation. This has to happen, not at the NCAA level, but at the school and at the conference level. The Southeastern Conference has already done this. I understand that it's fun to storm the court. This is not the first time this has happened, by the way. Aaron Harrison at Kentucky got into an argument with an Arkansas fan at the end of that game. Marcus Smart had a hard time getting off the court after he shoved the fan. I understand it's fun, Doug. There has to be a respect between fans and players. That line should not be breached. If you can't have fun going to a game and staying at your seat, you shouldn't go.
I used to disagree with you, okay? But then I thought, when you were in school at Duke, didn't they used to throw things on the floor during pregame introductions? Remember, they threw potatoes on the floor when Spud Webb came running out?
Right, and then the school had to clamp down on it.
And they said no more.
Right.
And you know what? We're at the point now. No more. Because touring around the country, you get a sense that whether it's because of Twitter and social media, fans feel more enabled, more entitled. And you know what they also are? There's a little bit of anger to them that they feel like they can express. And all it takes is one guy to create one ugly incident, which speaks poorly to all the rest of the fans who just came to see him to have a good time. So if you want to celebrate with your team, here's my suggestion. One of the players will get on Twitter and tweet out the spot where you can all go and enjoy a big win and have a cold beer together, or a decaffeinated soda if it's in Orem, Utah.
I say be really careful, kids, because you're about this far away from having chicken wire strung up all around the court and making sure that you stay in your seat.
It's like there's no respect. That line between the fan and the court has to be respected.
Seth is about to rush the camera. Thank you for watching AT&T at the half. We'll get you back to Louisville and Memphis after this.
CBS Sports presents AT&T at the half. AT&T. Rethink possible.
CBS Sports college basketball coverage is sponsored by Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings, beer, sports. The Quick Silver Card from Capital One. Earn 1.5% cash back on every purchase. And by the all-new 2014 GMC Sierra. Incredible thinking in the form of a truck. Moments away from the start of the second half, Memphis has a 37-31 lead on Louisville. With Mike Cheminsky, I'm Andrew Catalon. Memphis' top 2 scorers coming in, Shaq Goodwin and Joe Jackson. Well, they're combined 1 for 12 so far in this game, and yet Memphis still leads by 6. How are they doing it, Mike?
Well, I thought Memphis played very well on both ends of the floor, shooting almost 50%, and Louisville 40%, already 9 turnovers for them, so really getting it done both ends.
Let's take a look at the Capital One first half stats. The 17 combined turnovers. Memphis +2 points in the paint. But you look at the way that Memphis is distributing the basketball. They have 10 assists on 14 made field goals. They really know how to move it inside, Mike.
Yeah, they work very well against the zone. And here you can see it's going to be a high-low action. Goodwin coming up front. Van Treese is going to get caught in between. Harrell late coming back into the play. And that's going to leave Austin Nichols with the play inside. Great high-low action against the zone.
And for Louisville, Russ Smith had 15 points in that first half. But Memphis defensively finally was able to slow him down a little bit. Smith only had 1 point in the last 7 minutes and 53 seconds. It was 30 all until Memphis went on that 7-0 run, and then one free throw stopped the run. But still, Louisville with some work to do. They trail by 6. This season, when Memphis is leading at halftime, they have a 15-1 record.
And Andrew, let's see, a key thing I think for Memphis is Crawford with those 3 fouls, if they can keep him in the game, because he was starting to knock down threes before he had to go to the bench.
Crawford with the 3 fouls, and Dixon Jr. also has 3 for Memphis.
Yeah, only 10 minutes in that first half for Crawford.
And Shaq Goodwin 0 for 7 in that first half. So Memphis up 6 without a bucket from one of their top players in Shaq Goodwin.
But he didn't quit on everything else. 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 steals, 2 blocks.
Smith for 3. That one won't go down. Harrell, the offensive rebound. Put back is good. Man, is he tough. Montrezl Harrell.
A tough shot, but it's really made possible by Van Treese, who kept that alive with the tip.
Harrell has made his last 5 field goals. The teams that, as Harrell with the steal, starting lineup back on the floor to start this second half, and Harrell is fouled. So some energy from Louisville and Montrezl Harrell to start this second half.
Well, here's that last play, and there you see Van Treese just keeping it alive. Harrell has been very active and animated in the second half, both ends of the floor. I think he might have traveled on that play before he got fouled, but he gets to the line.
Now, this is the big problem for Harrell. The line, where he's just 46% on the season. And that one works. At the end of the Cincinnati game last week, you saw Cincinnati just fouling Montrezl Harrell, Harrell, if you will, and they could see that down the stretch of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the thing. When you have a poor free throw shooter like that, it becomes a liability, and they banks that one in. So, by any means necessary.
Not textbook, but 2 for 2 at the line. Harrell has 10 of the team's last 15 points. Jackson inside had it batted away. Back-to-back turnovers for Memphis, but Louisville gives it right back.
You know, it's funny. It's very rare that Rick Pitino gets upset on an offensive mistake. It's defensively, I guess that's just a bad decision right there. Unforced error.
Each team with 10 turnovers. Van Treese got a hand on that one out of bounds to Memphis. So Louisville has matched its average in terms of turnovers. Nice look, and Johnson was able to break down the Louisville defense and put it in.
Well, it was a quick turnaround. They played in Houston on Thursday, about 41 hours to turn it around and come back and play today. But right from the start, Andrew played with much more enthusiasm and energy.
Harrell, mid-range jumper, won't go down. That one tipped up. Van Treese battling Crawford for it. They get tangled up. Well, and these two teams don't like each other.
Yeah, and you know, at least for Van Treese, I mean, he's right in front of his bench. The thing is, if I'm guarding Harrell, I will settle for that jump shot all night long, all day long.
First foul on Van Treese.
Crawford kind of just lurking on this right side, hoping he can get an open look.
Johnson with 12 on the shot clock for Memphis. There's Crawford for 3. Not this time, and Russ Smith with the rebound. Smith over to Jones, drives in, and bounces out to Hancock. Wide open 3 is good.
Wow, what a great look that time. A good rush up the floor.
Hancock had a little bit of a look for one of the Memphis fans.
One of the best ways to get an open look at a 3, get out in transition and run to the line.
9 points for Hancock. It's a 1-point game. 2.5 minutes into the second half. With Cincinnati losing earlier, Louisville can move into stole possession of first place in the American, and we have a whistle before the shot, and that's going to be a foul on Hancock. And for Hancock, that's his third.
What you see here, and then everybody looking over on the other side, and Hancock just gets lost. The baseline drive, and it's like playing horse.
Goodwin with a bad pass. And another turnover by Memphis. That's their 11th of the game.
And he had made some solid passes early, Andrew. That was just a poor angle. You have to take one more dribble to the left. Then I think he gets that pass.
3 turnovers this half for the Tigers. And Goodwin has 4 by himself in this game.
Let's see if Nick King came in the first half and gave them some pretty good minutes. He's back in, and he's on Harrell.
Blackshear corner 3, no good, and King, the freshman, with the rebound. Dixon down low, Nichols, and there's the hands that we talked about in the first half for Nichols.
The great thing about that play, he never brought the ball down. He caught it, kept it up, and got it right up to the rim. Great big inside play.
That bucket seemed to pick up the fans here a little bit. A little bit of that emotion was missing first couple minutes of this half from Memphis. But it's back. Jones trying to quiet the fans. No. Van Treese the rebound. And he'll reset up top. Jones, wild shot. No. Van Treese comes crashing in the boards. Harrell walks around it. Bullies his way inside for 2 more. Montrezl Harrell, a man down low.
Too many second chance opportunities for Louisville on that play.
Harrell saves that one. Jones does not have numbers. He'll shoot and hit. Tough shot.
Yeah, I mean, that's a no-no. Good shot by Rick Pitino that time. That was 1-on-4, and he pulls up for the jump shot.
First lead of the day for Louisville. And the first points of the day for Jones. Steal. Russ Smith one-on-one with Dixon. Smith spins, shoots, and scores. Timeout, Memphis.
Well, both coaches felt like this was going to be a game of runs, and it's proving to be that way.
A 9-2 run for Louisville, and they lead it by 3. Louisville outscoring Memphis 13-4 so far in this second half, and Montrezl Harrell is just owning the boards right now.
He's really been a presence inside. Louisville not shooting particularly well, but that's offset by second chance opportunities. Harrell, 8 rebounds in the game, 5 of them offensive. He's converted on 3 of them in this half.
Harrell has 14 points. So now he's scored at least 14 in 10 of his last 11 games. And what a difference Montrezl Harrell has been. I mean, this is not the same player that Memphis saw the first time around when they met in January back in Louisville. Since then, Harrell's been on a tear.
Rick Pitino said the whole thing happened with the hand, and it took about 10 days for them to really get accustomed to that and regroup and refine themselves. But he's, I think, been the biggest beneficiary.
Memphis trying to find themselves here in the second half. They have 4 turnovers and 4 points so far in this half, and Goodwin is fouled. Timeout on the floor. Louisville's lead is 3. 15:26 to go, second half, and Louisville has taken a 3-point lead on Memphis. All 4 of Louisville's losses have come to ranked teams. Just 1-4 against ranked opponents this year. The only win came last Saturday, a gutsy road victory at Cincinnati.
Yeah, and Rick Pitino talked about that. An extremely hostile environment, but really kind of the only wart on their resume.
24-4 record for Louisville, ranked number 7 in the country, and they've won 7 in a row. Goodwin still can't get a bucket. Austin Nichols able to corral it, and Memphis will reset. Johnson lost it, but he's fouled. And that's going to go on Chris Jones. Shaq Goodwin is 0 for 9 from the floor.
Yeah, really struggling inside to get something done. And you can see he's just wanting to get that first basket to break through.
61% shooter on the season, but he's scoreless, and that's a bad turnover by Memphis.
Van Treese and Harrell in there. Not a lot of room to get up shots.
13 turnovers on the Tigers. Jones cannot convert off that turnover, though. And Dixon comes away with it. Jackson, nice look, and Nichols missed the bunny. Got to have that if you're Memphis.
There have been a couple of missed opportunities inside for Memphis. Goodwin a couple in the first half, and that one easy to convert.
The lead remains 3 for Louisville. Harrell puts it on the floor, drives in, doesn't get that one to go, and here come the Tigers in transition. Dixon ahead of the field, and he lays it in.
Really poor defensive balance that time for Louisville. Good look ahead.
And here come the fans again, just off Beale Street in Memphis. A lob to Harrell! And these two are fun to watch, unless you're going against them. Smith to Harrell.
What a look over the top for Montrezl Harrell. We talked about his ability to go up and get lobs. Smith just throwing it up and the reverse dunk.
He didn't just set the single-season record for dunks this season for Louisville. He has shattered it and still has time to go. Purvis Ellison and Shane Bohannon had 59 dunks in a season. Montrezl Harrell is up to 73.
He'll be up over 100 before the season's over.
No kidding. Johnson, the dish to Goodwin, and there is not his first field goal.
0 for 10 now. This is just one of those days with him. I mean, that one was halfway down the cylinder.
I thought he had it. Just can't buy a bucket right now. Shaq Goodwin is 0 for 10. Rozier back in the game for the Cardinals. Hands off for Harrell. 15 to shoot.
I wonder when Russ Smith is going to start going again. Look at this one goes up.
He's got the ball right here. Rozier in the corner. 7 on the shot clock. Back to Smith. Pops. Does not knock it down. Nichols to Dixon quickly. Dixon draws contact, and Dixon will go to the line. Fouls on Terry Rozier.
Really nice outlet pass that time by Austin Nichols. Get the ball up the floor quickly.
Shaq Goodwin 0 for 10 today. Sophomore out of Atlanta. Dixon makes the first. Tuesday on CBS, they use surveillance to save lives. Are their methods based on truth or fiction? Don't miss a new episode of Person of Interest. Tuesday, 10/9 Central, only CBS. One more for Dixon Jr., 82% free throw shooter, and he knocks them both in.
Dixon Jr. doing a little cheerleading out there to get the crowd up. They want to get a stop and get the lead.
They don't need much. Goodwin with the steal. Johnson gives it right back to Rozier. And Rozier is fouled. And I think they're going to get Crawford, and that's his 4th. It is the 4th foul on Chris Crawford with 12:55 to go in the game.
Just so opportunistic by Louisville, immediately shifting the defense on that turnover. They get it right back, and that was 2 points. I mean, if you're Crawford, I think you just got to let this one go. Just got that right arm out there. I don't know that he was intending to foul, but that's a huge pickup.
So Crawford goes to the bench. Memphis has 6 turnovers this half. Here comes off the screen, bounces it to Harrell, guarded by Goodwin, and now back out to Rozier. Inside, Harrell doesn't have the touch this time. Goodwin with the rebound. And Dixon Jr., wow, he really sold that one.
Well, yeah, he drove right at Smith and bought the foul. I mean, it's a great play.
Smith can't believe it. That's the 3rd foul on Russ Smith.
And now Memphis shooting free throws in the penalty for the rest of the game.
7th team foul on Louisville. So they'll shoot the rest of the way, and Smith still can't believe it. Blackshear comes out. Smith is still pleading his case.
He's trying to have a conversation with the referee, saying he just threw his arm out at me.
Dixon Jr. makes the first. We are tied at 46 between these two rivals. Louisville and Memphis meeting for the 89th time. Second longest standing series for both teams. For Louisville, their longest played rivalries with Cincinnati. For Memphis, it's Southern Miss. Dixon has scored the last 6 points for the Tigers, and they've regained the lead by 1. Back in the game with the 3 fouls. Mathiang inside. Wild shot, no good. Goodwin, another board, goes to the ground, and foul is called. And once again, Memphis will shoot.
I think Louisville a little over-aggressive in the backcourt defensively. It was a pretty good play by Hancock to create that opportunity for Mathiang and a makeable shot.
And now Shaq Goodwin will go to the line. Goodwin looking for his first points of the game. A 61% free throw shooter. And he still got the bagel.
Again, those big misses between 7 and 10 when you get in the double bonus, the front end of the 1-and-1, the empty possession.
Inside 12 to play. Memphis leads by 1. Smith right at Jackson. Smith puts it in. Tough shot, Russ Smith.
They gave him a clear out on the left-hand side, and he beat him with his weak hand, too, going left.
He's got 19. His season average is 17. Louisville back up by 1. Mathiang guarding Goodwin. Goodwin inside. His first points of the day.
And don't think that the crowd wasn't reacting to that and keeping stats themselves, too. Big basket from a confidence standpoint.
Goodwin now 1 for 11 from the floor. Timeout, Louisville. Well, it took a while, but Shaq Goodwin is on the board, and we got a ball game in Memphis. Foul trouble for both teams. Crawford has 4 for Memphis. And then 4 players have 3 apiece. Dixon Jr. for the Tigers, Smith, Hancock, and Jones for the Cardinals.
But Andrew, you think they're all upperclassmen, so they should have a sense of how to play with foul issues like that. Obviously, the big one was with Crawford. You don't know when we're going to see him in this game. But the other guys should be able to still be relatively aggressive.
Memphis only playing 8 guys so far. That's usually their normal rotation. 5 on the shot clock for Louisville. I don't think Harrell sees it. Harrell has no idea. Forces up a 3, and he swishes it! Harrell, his second 3-pointer of the season.
Maybe he should take more. He's 2 or 3 now on the year, but you know, your point guard's got to have the ball at that point. He bails his team out with a big 3.
11 of his 19 points have come in this second half. Louisville's lead is 2.
I guarantee you that one in the scouting report, you got to check Harrell from 3.
I don't think so. As Johnson misfires, and guess who with the rebound? Harrell.
Like he may be tiring a little bit slow coming up the floor.
Rozier, no 3 this time. Van Treese, the offensive board, gets it back to Harrell. Smith, thought about a corner 3, drives in, dish down low. Harrell puts it up and in, and the foul. Montrezl Harrell, 21 points, 10 rebounds, and he'll go to the line when we come back. Montrezl Harrell, you can't keep him off the boards. You can't keep him off the 3-point line. Montrezl Harrell taking over in Memphis. CBS Sports College basketball coverage is sponsored by AT&T, the official sponsor of the NCAA. AT&T Rethink Possible. USAA proudly serving the financial needs of current and former military members and their families. And by Applebee's. Largest lead for Louisville. It's 4 with 9:50 to go in the second half. Early on, we talked about these talented backcourts. Mike, let's revisit our AT&T Fast Analysis.
Right, take a look at Russ Smith and the variety of ways that he can score the basketball. His first look, he's going to space out. Memphis losing sight of where he is. He knocks down the three, 26 feet from the basket. 2 of 5 for 3 on the afternoon. And then he uses this high ball screen, a little give and go from the top. Uses Harrell well. Goes around him. They get caught up on the screen. And the nice drop off, 5 of 9 from inside the arc on this game. Solid at the free throw line. Very tough to defend.
Harrell has 21 points. Russ Smith has 19. The rest of Louisville combined has 13. As you see, Montrezl Harrell, not only does he have his 8th double-double this season, but he's now got 7 in the last 14 games for Louisville. Harrell at the line trying to finish off a 3-point play. Again, as we documented, this has been the weakness for Montrezl Harrell. And he misses the free throw. But he is still outscoring Memphis in this half by himself, 13-12. Jackson gets around Rozier, back out to Dixon. Crawford is back in the game with 4 fouls for the Tigers. Goodwin draws the double inside. Dixon for 3. Good. Michael Dixon Jr. And we got a 1-point game.
Good look. That was under duress, too. That was a tough shot. 40% from the floor. He had Crawford on the wing, was able to knock it down.
Are you surprised Crawford's back in now with the 4 fouls?
Yes, at the 9-minute mark, I am.
Dixon has 9 of his 11 points this half.
Well, if I'm Hancock right now, I'm trying to put some pressure on Crawford.
Crawford guarding Hancock, 10 on the shot clock. They give it to Harrell, free throw line jumper. He can't miss. Montrezl Harrell is on fire right now.
Yeah, if he starts knocking that shot down consistently, it almost becomes unguardable. The 3, we're going to put that away, and that's not part of his arsenal normally.
Crawford brings the ball up the floor for the Tigers, hands off for Jackson. That one poked away by Smith, and he's called for the foul, and that is number 4 on Russ Smith.
Well, I talked about being smart as an upperclassman. That's not a smart play. He tried for the pick in the open floor. There's the look. It's the solid. I mean, it's got to be a better chance to take than that.
So Russ Smith with 19 points has to go to the bench with 4 fouls, and Jackson is at the line shooting 1 and 1. He misses the front end. Jackson, an 80% free throw shooter, but today he's 1 out of 3.
Both teams leaving some points on the free throw line.
Rozier around Nichols, off the glass and in. Tough shot by the freshman, over the freshman.
They talked about him being the heir apparent to Russ Smith, and it's going to be he and Chris Jones. Can they step up in the backcourt with Smith out of the game with 4?
Largest lead for Louisville at 5 as we approach 8 minutes to go in the game. Jackson, the dish to Crawford. Down low, Nichols, and he puts it in.
Tough showed some good patience that time. Caught the ball, knew he couldn't go right up.
1 possession game. Fans on their feet. What an atmosphere here in Memphis. Harrell draws some contact. And that foul goes against Memphis. They trail by 3. We got a ball game here in Memphis. The Tigers trail by 3 against 7th-ranked Louisville with Mike Jaminski. I'm Andrew Cataline. Montrezl Harrell, 23 points, 10 rebounds. How does Memphis slow him down the stretch here, Mike?
Well, when does it become time to start fouling him and putting him at the line rather than letting him have good looks? They've got plenty of bigs, Memphis, to take fouls inside. So when does that become a factor? But he has been unbelievable. I mean, doing it all. Dunking inside, the 15-foot shot, and then knocking down this 3 with the clock running down.
And as you just mentioned, it would not be a surprise to see Memphis foul Harrell. Put him at the line. Russ Smith on the bench with 4 fouls.
Well, now you got Pelham in the game too, and I've got to think that if it's close, yeah, you're gonna, he's in there and he's on Harrell and he's in there to take 5 fouls. And Nickel's not in bad shape either.
Off the inbound, Rozier is able to convert. Great play out of the timeout by Rick Pitino.
Yeah, and it's again coming out of timeouts and executing poor defensive vision that time by the Tigers.
Cardinals have 6 field goals in their last 6 trips. They lead it by 5. 3 from Dixon is short, and the rebound down to Jones.
I don't know about that early in the shot clock with the guy on you.
Hancock will shoot that.
It's right there, Crawford in the game.
Van Trees tipped it out right to Jackson. Jackson to the hole, no. Rebound to Jones, and he's fouled.
Andrew, you have to recognize numbers, and that was a 1-on-3 break. I thought it was a force. You got to wait for help to come back. If you don't have a lot of white jerseys around you, you got to pull it back and run something.
Josh Pastner has not lost back-to-back games since December of 2011 when they lost to Murray State and Louisville was the second team. Of course, the Tigers lost on Thursday at Houston. 4 fouls now on Dixon Jr. And Nichols will go to the bench. So Dixon Jr. and Crawford both in there with 4 fouls for Memphis. Dixon Jr. has been a big part of the Tigers here in the second half. He has 9 of their 17 points. Great job defensively by Johnson to steal that away. Johnson to Crawford for 3.
He got hot in the first half, and you want to try to get as much out of him.
Well, now the officials have stopped the game, and they want to take another look at this one.
I don't know if they're going to see if it's a 2 or a 3.
And they're pulling out the monitor. Our officials today, John Higgins, Rick Crawford, Brian O'Connell. Let's take another look.
Yeah, I'd say he was well behind the line. It's no question that it was a 3.
Well, now I think they're taking a look underneath if there was a possible foul. The 3 is good for Crawford. It's his 3rd 3 of the game. But let's take a look at the action inside. Van Treese and Pelham.
Yeah, I think they're going to see if it was a punch by Pelham.
That's definitely what they're looking at. They don't stop the game to look at a 3 until there's immediate timeout at this stretch in the game. So they're trying to figure out if Pelham threw a punch.
It looked like it. I mean, they were just tangled up there for a second, but at the very last, he comes through with that left hand.
Pelham, the grad student transfer from George Washington, against Van Treese, the senior out of Indianapolis.
He averages 15 minutes a game, but we talked about his purpose maybe late in this game to put Harrell on the line. I don't think this is necessarily what just Josh Pastner wanted, though.
I don't think he was trying to throw a punch there. It looked like they just got tangled up, heated rivalry. But we'll see if Higgins, Crawford, and O'Connell agree.
I don't know. That's awfully close. I might err on the side if it was intentional.
Well, this place went nuts after Crawford drained that 3, and they're still on their feet chanting for Memphis. An incredible atmosphere here at the FedEx Forum as we remind you of flagrant 1 and flagrant 2.
Well, and I got to say, this has taken a little bit longer than maybe it should have right now, and they've had plenty of time to look at it.
Both teams huddled up, and the referees huddled up as well.
If anything, it was a flagrant 1.
Well, they have called a flagrant 1 on Pelham.
Yeah, as I said, I was erring on that side of it. It was just that last left hand.
So the foul goes on Pelham with 6:33 to go in the second half. One final look at this one down low.
See, that's just saying, but it was just, again, tangled up. It was that throwing of the left hand.
So that'll send Van Treese to the line, where he's 0 for 2 today. And on the season, Van Treese is 9 out of 19. He's able to quiet the crowd there and knock in the first one. Russ Smith trying to fire up his team from the bench with 4 fouls.
It was, in fact, that last slap to the face that got the flagrant 1. So 2 shots in Louisville ball.
And Van Treese makes them both. So the 3 by Crawford brought the house down, but now Louisville, thanks to the flagrant 1 on Pelham, able to knock in both free throws, and they have the ball. A 4-point lead for the Cardinals, 6.5 to go. At what point do you bring Russ Smith back in?
Well, as long as you're working the lead, I think you can start. That's going to be the biggest factor. If they can keep a little 2 or 4-point cushion, if you can get him under the 4-minute mark, that'd be a big lift. Maybe just giving him a minute right now.
And we're going the other way. A foul is called on Van Treese, setting the screen.
Have to stay stationary as that screener. Just that last little movement, that slide to the left.
3rd foul on Van Treese. So the ball back over to Memphis, trailing by 4. Dixon Jr., nice look. Pelham can't finish. But Pelham will go to the line. Had a good look at that one.
Well, they're talking about wanting to get more out of him. No points 2 out of the last 4 games, and only 56% from the line.
This guy has been through it all in terms of injuries. 2 surgeries on his left wrist and 3 surgeries on his left knee. He misses the first free throw. Josh Pastner says he's got old man knee, but they won't tell him how old that man is. Pelham didn't practice a lot since the start of the second semester, but he would feel winded when he played in the game, so he started practicing despite the knee. It comes up empty at the free throw line.
So it actually works against him. The guy that maybe bringing him in, the foul, Harrell, misses 2 on the other end.
Nichols at the scorer's table for Memphis. Set to check in next whistle. Hancock drives off the glass and good. Luke Hancock with a strong take. He's got 11 points into double figures for the senior.
You're talking Russ Smith out of game. Other guys have to step up. Hancock, a likely candidate.
Largest lead of the day for Louisville at 6. Johnson had a big first half. A little quiet here in the second. Pelham didn't get a handle on it. Harrell comes away with it. A turnover by Memphis. Jones, coast to coast. Knocked out by Johnson. Good defense from behind by Jaron Johnson. And Jones a little slow to get up. Now he's all right.
Well, again, another 1-on-3 break. Not a good read, and a good track down from behind by Jaron Johnson.
Hancock jumper. And Montrezl Harrell with another Rozier. And he'll set up the Louisville offense inside 5 minutes to go. Last 2 years, Louisville is 18-2 in the month of March. And they're going to win a lot more if Montrezl Harrell keeps playing like this.
Yeah,
he's got 25.
You feed him in a timeout right now, Josh Passer, but talk about picking each other up. Russ Smith in the first half, Harrell in the second half.
Since the Russ Smith fourth foul, Louisville outscoring Memphis 10-5. Harrell having a day at the FedEx Forum. Coming up next, it's an SEC slam dunk as Johnny O'Brien, the third in the LSU Tigers, tangle with Billy Donovan's top-ranked Florida Gators right here on the road to the Final Four, CBS Sports. Vern Lundquist and Bill Raftery getting set to call that one as we reset the foul situation here between Louisville and Memphis. Russ Smith still out for Louisville with the 4. Crawford and Dixon Jr. 4 for Memphis.
But Louisville's increased the lead with him out of the game. And
Done a great job.
It's been Harrell that's been the force inside. Like I say, you got the luxury of your Rick Pitino. You can keep him over there as long as that continues.
Montrezl Harrell has a new career high today with 25 points as Dixon draws contact. And that's on Van Treese. And Memphis will shoot 2.
That's his 4th foul.
So Memphis shooting 2 the rest of the way. Dixon Jr., an 82% free throw shooter and 4 for 4 on the afternoon.
Been on a little bit of a streak, too. Double-figure scores his last 9. Was one of the few guys who showed up down in Houston with 19 points.
That was a season high for Dixon Jr. Keeps it rolling at the line. Mathiang comes into the game to replace Van Treese, who's got the 4 fouls. Memphis had missed its last 4 free throws before that make by Dixon Jr.
Get a little bit more shot blocking with Mathiang in there, and with Van Treese a little bit more rebounding. Neither one of them big-time scorers.
Six-point game. Rozier, the freshman, with 15 on the shot clock. Setting up the Louisville offense. Takes a screen from Mathiang. Over to Hancock. Deep 3. In and out. He almost drained it. Rebounded Nichols.
Important defensive stop.
Dixon Jr. will go to the line. And we have our final media timeout at the FedEx Forum. 3:48 to go. Buckle up for the finish. Louisville up by 6.
I still don't believe it.
Montrezl Harrell leading Louisville out to a 6-point lead. Game reset, 2 timeouts for each team. 3:48 to go, and Russ Smith still on the bench with those 4 fouls. Speaking of fouls, the last foul before that timeout was on Montrezl Harrell. It's just his second in 33 minutes of action. It sends Dixon Jr. back to the line, though. And Dixon Jr. remains perfect on the day, 7 out of 7.
And it's not like Montrezl Harrell has been timid in this game. He's been very physical inside.
This half, Dixon Jr. has 13 points. The rest of the team has 11. 4-point game, 3:40 to go. Louisville patient on this set. 10 on the shot clock. Jones drives in. Tough follow-away shot short. And the rebound down to Crawford. Outlets to Dixon. One-on-one with Rozier. Dixon puts it in. 2 more. And we get a 2-point game.
This may be Russ Smith time. Rick Pitino with the timeout.
Timeout, Louisville. They have one remaining with 3:09 to go. And there goes Russ Smith to the scorer's table. It's a 6-0 run for Memphis, all six, courtesy the senior, Michael Dixon Jr. Not a bad start to the month of March today, and a lot more to come. The selection show just over 2 weeks away on CBS, and we've got you covered for March Madness as always. And we've got madness here on Beale Street in Memphis. The Tigers are alive. They trail by 2. And Russ Smith is back into the game with 4 fouls for Louisville.
Big offensive possession for Louisville to keep that 4 points straight on them. And they're going to be all out, or try to all out tonight with Russ Smith to fall at the end of the clock. It's in his hands.
10 seconds on the shot clock for Louisville. Hancock comes out to help Smith. He doesn't need it. Spins on Johnson. 4 to shoot. Lost it going up. Good defense by Johnson. Johnson comes away with it. Johnson ties the game.
What an unbelievable one-on-one, man-to-man defensive play.
8-0 run for Memphis. 2:20 to go. Jones comes off the screen, 15 on the shot clock.
Johnson going to be in full denial with Smith.
6 to shoot. Jones, 3. No. Johnson the rebound.
And a nice block out of Harrell that time by the smaller Johnson.
When they met in January, Memphis scored the last 7 points of the game to win by 6. Right now, Memphis on an 8-0 run. Tied at 65, 140 to go. Crawford, 3. Good! Timeout, Louisville! Chris Crawford has 4 threes, and this one puts Memphis back on top.
Well, Crawford's the guy who's going to end up with the ball right here. With the look inside, the handoff, and the great screen. And if you're Hancock, you can't go under that screen. You've got to fight over the top and not let him get that look.
It's an 11-0 run for Memphis. They have scored on their last 5 trips. Crawford, the latest, with his 4th 3 of the day, and now Louisville has no timeouts remaining.
And because of that defensive lapse, Hancock out of the game. You don't have to go for the 3 right here. Plenty of time left. And for Memphis, this definitely gets into the foul Harrell territory.
And Johnson and Smith got tangled up. The foul goes against Johnson. That's his 3rd. And that will be a 1-and-1 for Russ Smith.
That's the way the game is being refereed this year. The guys that move well without the ball, you get those hold calls. We talked about it. They want to try to keep the ball out of Smith's hands at all costs.
Smith misses the front end. Wow. Smith has not scored in approximately 11 minutes. A lot of the time on the bench with the 4 fouls. Crawford lost it. They kick it around. Crawford gets it back, finds Goodwin, and he's fouled. Foul is on Chris Jones, and Goodwin will go to the line. 4th foul on Jones.
Yeah, and actually that Goodwin brought his man back into the play. There was a lane to drive right there, but very fortunate to retain possession and get free throws.
Goodwin just 61% at the line. He'll shoot 2, and he needs the first. 2-possession game with 1:03 to go.
And then what Josh Pastner doing right now, he's pulling everybody back off the line so that Louisville can't run it up. They're going to try to get it up quickly.
Misses the second. And now 1 minute to go. Smith, three. No good. And it goes out of bounds. Last touch by Crawford. It'll stay with Louisville. And now a substitution for Rick Pitino's team. Blackshear in. Van Treese comes out.
A quick foul. We haven't heard much from Harrell in this last couple of minutes.
Smith guarded by Johnson. Smith, three again. Won't go down. Rebound inside to Louisville. Jones back out Rozier. And they had a whistle. So loud in here you can't even hear it. But there was a foul inside. Foul goes against Shaq Goodwin. That's his third. And it's a 1-and-1 for the Cardinals.
Jones at 74%. And we've seen some big misses on front ends of 1-and-1s in this game.
Jones is 74% free throw shooter. The Memphis native coming back home. He played at Melrose High School. And he makes the first. First point for Louisville in over 4 minutes. They trail by 3.
You're going to have the 5 seconds between shot and game clock, so Louisville will get the ball back.
Jones misses the seconds. Goodwin the rebound. And now what is Rick Pitino going to do? Difference of 5 seconds. Game clock and shot clock.
I think at this point you got to foul.
They don't want to foul Dixon, and they do.
This took a lot of time off the clock.
And that foul is on Russ Smith. He's out of the game with 5 fouls. That was a little strange, Mike, and they waited so long to foul. If you're going to foul right away.
How many, 15 seconds went off the clock before that foul occurred?
So Russ Smith now out of the game with 19 points. Only 4 in this second half for Russ Smith. And Memphis will shoot free throws. It's Dixon Jr., who's 8 for 8 at the line today. Hancock back into the game for Louisville. All 8 of these free throws for Dixon Jr. have come in the second half.
You really have to watch Hancock and Blackshear both as three-point threats down the other end of the floor.
Dixon Jr. automatic here from the line. And Memphis is trying to finish off a season sweep of the rival Cardinals.
They're going to say a lane violation?
Yes, a lane violation. So that takes the point off the board. Jones, 3. Off the front of the rim. Hancock tips it out to Rozier. Final 8 seconds. Rozier, 3. No good. Rebound inside to Goodwin, and he's fouled with 3.4 to go.
Ending to this game, a lane violation, that right, giving him a little life.
So 3.4 seconds to go. 2 shots for Shaq Goodwin. It's a 1-possession game. Critical free throws here. He makes the first.
Tell you what, I go back to that one-on-one play that Jaron Johnson had with Russ Smith to get the block and the steal, and that was a big turning point in this game.
Memphis, again, has not lost back-to-back games since December of 2011. And they're going to finish off a season sweep of rival Louisville. At the buzzer, Jones' 3 is off. And that'll do it. Louisville still has only one win over a ranked opponent this year. They fall to 1-5 in that department. And Memphis wins 71-66. For Mike Jaminski, this is Andrew Catalon saying so long. Coming up next, game 2 of our doubleheader as top-ranked Florida hosts LSU.